Morning. So those of you know me, you're in the group. I'm Cheryl Andrews. I'm the founder of Step by Step Listening, but I'm also known as the Strength and Solution Detective. And I recently published my first book called Manage Your Critic from Overwhelmed to Clarity in 7 Steps. And today, the 1st of January 2017, I will be starting the year of challenges to really stretch myself to help raise money for charity. But I also want to do that each activity I do, I want to share with you how I'm setting myself up for success, how I'm managing my critic, and what things are going through my mind. And I just want to talk today about this challenge is that I'm going out to swim in the Solent. So those of you that know the UK, it's if you're in the States, you probably call it the ocean. It's the sea. It is just the start of our winter. It's going to be pretty cold. I've been advised not to do a full dunk, not to put my head under the water because of hypothermia. So I'm imagining I'm going to go in, it'll be 60 seconds and I'm out. Maybe I'm like to think that if I could stay longer, I might raise more money. If I wear less clothes, I'll motivate, because it's really interesting that human nature is, it's almost like if the other person's suffering more, we'll support it more. So it's just really weird actually just having that conversation. And my mother-in-law and my husband are downstairs, and I've just taken some time out upstairs on my own just to sort of mentally prepare myself. And I'm starting to feel quite sick. And wondering why I've actually offered to do this, and that's what I have to. When you're in business, and this is what I help with my clients, is that you have to keep tuning into that why. Why are you doing this? And why I'm doing this is because I want to raise awareness of the Manage Your Critic book, because it's a self-coaching tool that helps you if you want to achieve something, but your inner voice and your inner dialogue is getting in the way. I also want to raise awareness of the fact that coaching and having someone to listen to you, working with professional listeners, isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign, it's a need, it's a human requirement in order to process information, to be able to externalize our thoughts, to get those ideas out in some way, and often verbalizing them to somebody is all that's needed. But if you work with a really good coach, they'll also help you to write it down and get a representation of it. So I wrote a book, but when you write your plans, when you write down your goals, or even your to-do list, that is all a process that your brain needs to get clarity of the information that you're holding often in your head, which causes that feeling of overwhelm. And as I get ready today for the swim, one of the things that I'm consciously aware of is that I have actually chosen this because I believe I can do it, but it's a stretch just a little bit further than I've done before. When I was about 18, Joe Gooch and I were young teenagers. We used to cycle down and swim in the Solent in October. So I've gone in the sea and I've come out of it, and I know I can do that part. But I'm now 2 months on, it's going to be colder. I'm also 30 years older. So what I'm aware of is my brain keeps on remembering how freezing it was when I got out. So as a kid, a youngster, I wasn't carrying as much weight as I am now. You'd go in the water, that was fine, but the getting out with the breeze and the cold was absolutely freezing. And so my brain has a memory of that, and that's what it keeps on pulling back to. So I'm checking in with my family, and we've got quilts and we've got towels, because that's the bit I'm most worried about. So it's about when you can put your attention on and get clarity of what the fear really is, then you can do something about it. But I can also choose to remember how easy it was to go in and how great it feels. And I'm also going to be using this dip in the ice cold water to almost like shock my body into and get rid of all that mentality of eating rubbish food and not looking after my body. So for me, it's actually going to be a physical kind of cleansing process. So whilst I am doing it for charity, I have made sure there's also something in it there for me personally. And for every book I sell, so by using this opportunity, I'm going to talk about the book, Manage Your Critic, so that every book I sell, I can also, hi, someone's just joined me. If you want to put a comment, please do below so I know who it is. Then I can also help more people. But the other thing that's been playing on my mind is that a lady who did the dip a couple of years ago, hi Dave, thanks for joining us. We've got the New Year's Day dip today, so I'm just having a bit of a download and a talk to people about how I'm feeling. And there was a lady who did it a few years ago, and she said that her body went into spasm and she actually had to take Nurofen for 4 days. And that's been playing on my mind. And so really what I'm talking to you guys about today, and why I wanted to express and verbalise how I was feeling, is because then I can change my focus, because I can put all my attention on, and I feel quite fearful. I feel quite sick at the moment. I could put all my attention on the fact that it's going to be really cold when I get out. I could put all my attention on the fact that my body's going to be in spasm, that I'm going to have to take painkillers for 4 days. Or I can put my attention on that by doing this, I can make a difference to the community. And that's where the emotion is. I can feel the tears coming. That's when I know that I'm doing what matters. If I focus on those charities, I focus on a few of the children that I've seen benefit from those charities. When I focus on some of those women that I've supported with Southern Domestic Abuse Services, and I can see the transformation in their lives, that's when I can really start to think about, that's where my attention needs to be. And the minute I put my attention on them and the difference this dip's going to make to them, my body starts to relax. And so then the fear of being in spasm and pain in a couple of hours' time goes out the window. I've got to take my glass off to read. Hi. Thanks, Tom, for your encouragement. Hi, Hansu. Thanks for joining us. And David. So if any of you can be on live at 12 o'clock when I go in the sea and can share and comment on it, I'll be on the Step by Step listening page if it works. And your help really would be really appreciated just to share it. I know I don't look particularly attractive today, but I just wanted to download and talk to you guys because you're in the group Manage Your Critic for a reason. And we all have our critic, we all have that inner voice. And so my words today are, if you're struggling with anything, change your focus, you'll change the response. Thanks for joining me this morning, and I'll see you in a few hours, wet and cold. Bye.